LakelandCarKeys.com. We're working on a 2008 Acura RDX. It has the flip blade remote key, much like this one. As you can see, the original blade has it broken out of the key. So we're going to go ahead and decode the original key, find the valid key code, cut this in the remote key, and then we'll program it on the vehicle. Alright, so from inside the key machine, we can go into vehicle database, select Acura, and we can scroll up, hit RDX, and it's going to be the Han 66 with the 1.41. Alright, we already have our original blade in the position, so we're going to go ahead, select decode key, and as the probe goes through and touches all the correct spots on the blade, you see the numbers start filling in on the screen. They're going to go in from right to left on the top and then right to left on the bottom. And so we got 1, 5, 3, 3, 6, 2. Alright, and then down the bottom we got 1, 3, 6, 5, 5, 1. Now on Honda keys, remember the two ends all the way to the right, top and bottom, are always going to be ones, no matter what. On the top, the second to last one, for a master key should always be a 5, and then for a valet key it should always be a 2. So if you decode your key and there's a 2 there, that means someone made that key copying a valet key. You could go in and manually change it to a 5 and have yourself a master key. The only difference between the master and the valet is the valet will not unlock the glove box. Alright, so down the bottom we could go ahead and hit find button, and it comes up with a valid key code. So we're going to go ahead and select that key code, and then when we go into cut key, down the bottom you see the cut in depth is 1.05. I like to hit the plus one time and change that to 1.10, and then we'll go ahead and begin cutting our key. Alright, so the new key is in there. It's going to go through all its checks, and then it will go ahead and start cutting both sides of this key, and then we'll go ahead and have to flip it over and do the same cuts on the other side. Alright, so from the main screen, you gotta go in, and there is no actual listing for Acura, so we're gonna go ahead and select Honda. And then once it go ahead and we're gonna select by vehicle, and then we can scroll, and then eventually the models will turn into Acura models, and we can select RDX and blade key. And then from here we can go ahead and auto connect, and it will automatically diagnose what immobilizer system it is. And we already have the ignition turned on, and that right there told us it's the 4th generation immobilizer. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into key functions, and we want to do add a key. And it tells us to switch the ignition on with the original key. So I already had the key held up. As you can see, the green light is off. So we'll go ahead and try to read information that tells us 6 keys are registered to this car, and we cannot add a new key. So this car previously had 6 other keys programmed to it, and 6 is the maximum. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK, and we'll select all keys lost. And it won't communicate. Alright, so I'm gonna try with my auto, see if it lets me erase those keys so I can add in new keys. Alright, so long story short, I had the wrong key. I had the wrong remote. I looked it up with the Xhorse, and I did remote cloud recognition with his original key, and it gave me the FCC ID number. For this particular year, there was 2 different possibilities. In that particular style key, there was like 3 or 4 possibilities, which, of course, I'm missing just that one that I needed. So we went ahead and just made him an Xhorse Universal. I'm here cutting it now. I already programmed the remote. The remote's programmed in. And then I put a super chip in here. So what I'm going to do is I'll just clone the key that's already programmed to the super chip. So that will complete our job once this blade is done cutting on the other side. Alright, so I'm back in the vehicle, and I did program this key with the KM100. I was having some hard times with the Auto Pro Pad. It kept saying that can't connect to the immobilizer, but I think it might have been a voltage issue in the car itself. I did have one time where the KM wouldn't connect, but eventually I got it. We do have jumper cables hooked up and it's charging. So his original key is reprogrammed to the car. It'll still work. He's going to recase this one, and then this program key, we are going to use the VVDI Mini and clone it to the new remote key I did. Alright, so this one is the remote functions are already programmed, and there is a super chip in there, so all we got to do is clone it, and we should be on to the next screen, or on to the next job, I should say. Alright, so I'm going to show you in the Xhorse app. This is the VVDI Mini that I was talking about in a lot of my videos. This will, generate the universal key like we did, or let me bring it back one step. This will sniff the FCC ID data and tell us what remote profile his original key had, and then we can take that profile and burn it to the remote and do the onboard programming procedure. So those who don't know, the Honda onboard procedure is put the key in, you put it to on position, you hit one of the buttons one time, and you're going to do that 4 times. And on the 4th time, you're going to leave it on, and when you hit the button, the locks will cycle to let you know you're in programming mode. And then you hit the button on all the remotes that you want to program, the locks will cycle, you shut it off, take it out, the locks will cycle again to let you know it closed programming mode. Alright, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to screen record and show you the process in the Xhorse app of me cloning this original key. So from the main screen, we can go ahead and we're going to find our transponder clone, which is in the middle right here to the left. We're going to select transponder clone, and it tells us to put our original key in the device. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up, and then we are going to have to connect Bluetooth. So it's searching for the device. Oh, well, it automatically connected, but alright, so this tells us that we have our ID46 chip. We can see it's locked, so we know that this key is already programmed to the car. And down here in the bottom right hand corner, we're going to go ahead and hit clone, and then we're going to start clone and select ID46 clone. The original key is in there. You got to make sure you have internet connection. So it skipped over the part that I thought we were going to do. I thought we were going to have to sniff the ignition, but luckily we didn't have to do that. I could just go ahead and put my key in there, and it's right in the data, and it says chip copied successfully. Alright, so this is done. Our key, we should be able to go ahead and stick it in ignition and start, and all the functions should work. Alright, and this is our final product. Like I said, we have remote functions, and I can go ahead and stick the key in ignition, turn it, and we've seen the green immobilizer light down there blip for 1 second and went out. And we can start up and let it run, and that's the new universal key that we just went ahead and cloned, and we did the onboard procedure for programming the remotes. All right, thanks for watching. LakelandCarKeys.com.